Caitlin Clark just made a declaration that should terrify the rest of the WNBA. "I'm 100% go," Clark said at Indiana Fever training camp. Fully healthy, fully cleared, ready to dominate after an injury nightmare that kept her out for most of last season. And while Clark is making this huge comeback declaration, let me tell you what's happening with Angel Reese. Her own teammates just destroyed her. In front of cameras, at what was supposed to be her welcoming press conference in Atlanta. One teammate called her annoying as hell. Another bragged about dropping 30 points on her every single time they matched up. A third said playing against Reese's Chicago team gave her the best games of her career because the defense was that bad. This is the contrast right now. Clark is in Indiana, surrounded by a team that just handed Aaliyah Boston the richest contract in WNBA history, declaring she's 100% ready to dominate. Reese got traded to Atlanta and her teammates are already telling the world they don't respect her. Ryan Howard went first. "Anytime Angel's been on the other side of the court, I think I had 30, Howard said with a smirk. Think about what that means. Howard isn't saying, "Welcome to the team." She's saying, "I cooked you every time we played." And she did it directly to Reese's face while cameras were rolling. Then Naz Hillman jumped in. "Angel's annoying as hell," Hillman said, just flat out. Watch Reese's reaction. She's laughing, but it's uncomfortable laughter. The kind you do when something hurt but you can't show it. This was supposed to be her fresh start. Alicia Gray twisted the knife further. "I loved playing against Chicago because I had my best games," Gray said while sitting right next to Reese. Translation? Your old team's defense was so bad that playing you was a guaranteed stat-padding opportunity. Every time we faced Chicago, I knew I was going to eat. Think about how that lands. Reese spent 2 years in Chicago, 2 All-Star seasons. She set WNBA rookie records. She averaged 14 points and 12.8 rebounds per game. Those are real numbers. But her new teammates don't care about her stats. They care about one thing: winning. And when they faced Reese's Chicago team, they won every single time. And they made sure to cook Reese's squad while doing it. The entire press conference had this awkward energy. Reese is trying to laugh along. She's trying to play it cool. But it's painfully obvious that her new teammates aren't treating this like a normal welcome. They're using this moment to remind everyone, including Reese, that they've been on the winning side of every matchup. Later in the press conference, Reese fought back tears. "Being able to come to an organization that really cared about their players is like a breath of fresh air," she said. "It low-key makes me emotional because I haven't had this." The whiplash from "you're annoying as hell" to "this is a sisterhood" is jarring. Is this really the fresh start Reese was hoping for? Or is she already the outsider trying to prove herself to teammates who've decided they're better than her? If you want breakdowns like this on Caitlin Clark, the Fever, and everything in the WNBA, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Now let me tell you the full story behind Clark's declaration. Let me remind you what Clark went through last year. She played 13 games. That's it, 13 games out of a 44-game season. She dealt with groin, quad, and ankle injuries that kept piling up until the Fever shut her down in mid-July. For a player like Clark, who's used to being on the court every single night, that had to be torture. But she didn't waste the time. She rehabbed, she got healthy, she went to Team USA camp. She played 5 games at the FIBA World Cup qualifying tournament in Puerto Rico in March. And she dominated, led Team USA to a 5-0 record, won tournament MVP, proved she was back. "I feel really healthy and feel like I've put myself in a position to be as healthy as I can be to start the season," Clark said. That's not just confidence. That's a player who knows she's about to remind the league why she was the #1 pick, why she won Rookie of the Year, why she's a 2-time All-Star. But here's what makes this even better. Fever coach Stephanie White isn't just throwing Clark back into the fire and hoping for the best. White has a plan, and it's smarter than what most teams would do. She doesn't need every rep in practice, White said on the Query & Company podcast. "We want to make sure that we manage the reps and what kinds of reps she's getting just to build her up so that she's ready to go." White is treating Clark like the franchise cornerstone she is, not running her into the ground in training camp, not risking another injury before the season starts, managing her workload, making sure that when games actually matter, Clark is at 100% and ready to dominate for a full season. And Clark is buying in. She's not complaining about sitting out reps. She understands the long game. I think when I'm not in every single rep, I think it's a great leadership opportunity, Clark said. That's maturity. That's a player who learned from last season's injury hell and isn't making the same mistakes. And that's terrifying for the rest of the WNBA because a healthy, smart, locked-in Caitlin Clark is unstoppable. Now let me ask you something. Do you see the difference here? Do you see the contrast between what's happening in Angel Reese's world and Caitlin Clark's world? Reese got traded. Her teammates roasted her at her first press conference. One called her annoying. Another flexed about dropping 30 on her. A third said playing her old team was easy work. Reese is trying to spin it as a fresh start, but the optics are brutal. She's the outsider who has to prove herself. She's the one sitting there taking shots from her own teammates. Clark is in Indiana surrounded by nothing but support. Her coach has a smart plan to keep her healthy. Her teammates love her. Aaliyah Boston, her co-star, just signed the richest contract in WNBA history. 4 years, $6.3 million. And when that deal was announced, Clark didn't hesitate. She posted on social media immediately. Absolutely! Congrats, AB! That's the difference. Clark's teammates are getting paid. Clark's teammates are celebrated. Boston took less money in year 1 of her extension to give the Fever financial flexibility. She could have demanded $1.19 million for 2026. She took $1 million instead. Why? To help the Fever keep Kelsey Mitchell, re-sign Lexi Hull, and bring back Sophie Cunningham. That's a player who understands winning requires sacrifice. Fever GM Amber Cox called Boston a foundational piece and said she's just scratched the surface in terms of the player she can become. That's how you build a winning culture. You reward your stars. You build around them. Reese's new teammates are reminding her they've beaten her before. Clark's teammates are taking pay cuts to stack the roster. That's the contrast. And here's what nobody's talking about. Clark becomes Epic eligible in 2027. And when she signs that extension, every projection points to her deal matching or exceeding Boston's $6.3 million. That would put 2 Indiana Fever players at the top of the WNBA salary chart at the same time. No franchise has ever done that before. The Fever are building something the rest of the league simply can't match right now. Meanwhile, Reese is in Atlanta trying to convince everyone that leaving Chicago was the right move while getting publicly roasted by her own teammates. Boston's contract represents trust. She took less to keep the team competitive, and the Fever rewarded her with the richest deal in league history. The Fever are celebrating. The Dream are roasting their new acquisition. Caitlin Clark is watching all of this unfold while she prepares to dominate a full, healthy season for the first time since her rookie year. Let me paint you the full picture. The Indiana Fever have Caitlin Clark fully healthy. They have Aaliyah Boston locked in on the richest contract in WNBA history. They have Kelsey Mitchell back on a supermax. Lexi Hull is back. Sophie Cunningham is back. The roster is deep. The roster is talented. And everyone in that organization is locked in on winning a championship. Angel Reese is in Atlanta getting publicly reminded by her own teammates that they don't respect her yet. The sisterhood she talked about might be real eventually, but right now, it looks like a rocky start to what was supposed to be a redemption arc. Caitlin Clark made her declaration. She's 100% ready. The Fever are all in. And Angel Reese is still trying to convince people Atlanta was the right choice while her teammates roast her in front of cameras. The contrast is brutal. And it's only going to get wider from here. What do you think? Was the press conference roasting out of line, or is this just how teammates build chemistry? And how dominant is Caitlin Clark going to be now that she's fully healthy? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest on the Fever, Caitlin Clark, and everything happening in the WNBA. We'll see you in the next one.